दोस्तों, जीटी लॉग पॉडकास्ट के इस एपिसोड में एक बार फिर से आप सब लोग का स्वागत है। वी हैव बीन वर्किंग इन buildings and cooling area for so long, maybe I think close to 15-16 years now, and we have seen several initiatives in this area or domain from several stakeholders. जैसे हम लोगों ने देखा ब्यूरो ऑफ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी का इनिशिएटिव, एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन बिल्डिंग कोड, नाउ इट इज कॉल्ड Energy Conservation Sustainability Building Code. We have seen other initiatives, for example, Global Cooling Prize from RMI and Department of Science and Technology. We have seen several other initiatives as well. For example, recently Bureau of Energy Efficiency has also mentioned that 24 degrees Celsius should be the set point temperature for air conditioning system. Recently, our Honorable Power Minister Shri Manohar Lal Khattar ji also has mentioned and he has declared an initiative in terms of declaring the air conditioning range, temperature range also 20 degrees Celsius से 28 degrees Celsius तक का cooling का temperature define किया है। इतने सारे initiatives और इतने सारे participations के बावजूद we have seen this sector growing in terms of the cooling demand very much. We have seen the initiatives coming from private sector, government sector, और इसी डायरेक्शन में एक नया इनिशिएटिव we have witnessed from India Climate Collaborative. We have Mr. Pranav Dadhiji. Pranav, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much, Anurag, first of all, for inviting me, and I hope I'm able to bring those perspectives that you're aiming to seek. But I agree. I'm right now learning quite a bit, and these conversations definitely do help. I'll start off with my educational background. I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering back in 2011, when everyone was running after computer science and IT fields. I felt I want to do something super core and something in core engineering. And I chose chemical engineering as my focus. It was a really good field. Most of them think it's about chemistry, but it's way much more beyond that, because you take something from a lab scale to a process level or a industry scale, right? In chemical engineering, and that is extremely वो एक बहुत interesting aspect है, and I think उस चीज ने काफी कुछ शेप करा है मेरी लाइफ के अंदर भी।
Nice.
एंड आप कुछ भी उठा लीजिए, टूथपेस्ट से लेके फ्यूल, राइट, उसमें आपको केमिकल इंजीनियर
सब में
मिलेंगे, राइट। एंड उस टाइम पे जितने भी मेरे बैचमेट्स थे, दो एरियाज ऑफ फ्यूचर ग्रोथ वर वेरी प्रेवलेंट। आइदर यू वर्क इन इंडस्ट्रीज और आप फ्यूचर एजुकेशन के लिए प्रिपेयर करिए, एंड उसमें से एक है कि आप गेट दे सकते हैं इंडिया में एमटेक के लिए, एंड सेकेंड ऑप्शन वाज टू डू पेट्रोलियम इंजीनियरिंग इन फ्रॉम यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स, एंड इट वाज अ वेरी lucrative opportunity back then. A lot of people were pursuing that, and so I thought I would also prepare for something like that.
Petroleum engineering.
Yeah. So in second year I made up my mind that I want to do petroleum engineering, and I accordingly मैं अपना resume build करने लगा। मैंने internships वैसे करी, और थर्ड ईयर के अंदर मुझको opportunity मिली भारत पेट्रोलियम में internship करने की। उधर मुझको realize हुआ कि at what scale these industries are working, and what kind of environmental footprint this has, and that was only one plant, right? उस वक्त मुझको लगा कि 20-30 साल बाद, अभी तो it is great, like next 10 years I may be able to survive or function in this field, but 20-30 साल बाद
वो challenges आने
लगेंगे। क्या जब मैं अपने करियर के पीक पे होऊंगा, would I be struggling to like
switching to another
area, correct. That plus also the kind of environmental footprint these industries had. I just could not think of pursuing that as a career, and it was a difficult decision. Then I started researching renewables and sustainability were some topics that came up, And then I also figured that Europe is a better place to do your masters in those fields because उधर लोगों के DNA के अंदर sustainability, because that is how they have been brought up, taught about those areas, right? So they really know how to form a course around it, help you study that, right? So I applied for those education courses and for masters in Europe. Parents were super supportive in that, despite me entirely shifting from petroleum, which was much more familiar, to renewables, which was nowhere there back in 2013. People were not that talking about it that much,
bilkul,
right?
it was a new area.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a gamble, sort of a risk as well. Plus, going outside India to study that also was something, and that was new for me. I went first year I studied in KTH, Royal Institute of Technology. It is in Sweden. उधर मैंने काफ़ी basics of renewable energy, sustainability सीखा. And second year was more specific on bioenergy. And then I also worked there for a while, World Bioenergy Association के अंदर, on waste to energy as a space. But I soon started realizing that these countries have already made, or sort of making, in that process of making that transition. And India has a lot of action going on. अभी भी मतलब आप देखेंगे तो transition की बातें बहुत ज़्यादा होती है अभी भी इंडिया के अंदर. And India is in that phase where
start हो रही सब.
Exactly. आपके पास बहुत opportunities मिलेगी. उधर it was more around we have made the transition, what next?
And then you came back to India.
Exactly. 2018 mein I made that move. I came back to India and I joined a consulting firm, which was a boutique renewable energy consulting firm. And then I learned a lot more about distributed renewables as a space, and mobility, electric mobility as a space. And at a very rural level. So from Europe straight to the villages of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, it was definitely a transition.
A new kind of experience.
Exactly. And also grounded a lot of education and experience that I had, and humbled the experience that I was going to gain. But usse fir then I worked in distributed renewables for a while, understood उनका livelihood पे कैसे impact होता है, right? For us, a solar rooftop may be a way to offset our electricity consumption, but कोई अगर अपनी आटा चक्की चला पा रहा है सोलर से, जो कि पहले डीजल से जला रहा था, तो उसके लिए लाइवलीहुड का क्वेश्चन आ जाता है. और एक कांस्टेंट एंड रिलायबल सोर्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी विच इज फॉर अस, हम लोग बहुत ग्रांटेड ले लेते हैं क्योंकि हमारा डीजी चल जाएगा, नहीं तो कोई बैकअप चल जाएगा. लेकिन उधर ये सब पॉसिबिलिटीज नहीं होती. सो that was interesting to learn. Then I moved to another global organization, more on the consulting side, to work on energy access as a space. How did electricity impact socioeconomically different sectors of our country and folks? But then I started realizing that I want to work more on the implementation side of it and financing side of it. And then I made that switch to my current organization, India Climate Collaborative, where I'm specifically working on a program called HCL Climaforce Fund, which is focusing on buildings and cooling as a sector. So that is where cooling came in my life, and I'm very glad that अभी इतनी बातें चल रही है कूलिंग पे, हीट पे. It has definitely become a topic of discussion more and more, and it will become more and more a topic of discussion and focus for everyone that is associated with it, be it government.
तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे कूलिंग कुछ साल पहले एक लग्जरी की तरह ट्रीट होता था. नाउ वी स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द कूलिंग एज ए नेसेसिटी. इवन एज ए बिल्डिंग डिजाइनर वी इंश्योर कि एटलीस्ट प्रोविजन तो हम करें ही डिज़ाइन में.
बिल्कुल,
है ना. पहले ये रहता था कि हम वेंटिलेशन की बात करते थे, ओपनेबल विंडोज की बात करते थे. नाउ द एयर कंडीशनिंग सिस्टम इज पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ द बिल्डिंग डिज़ाइन इन एनी केस. तो मतलब इतनी तेजी से डिमांड इस चीज में बढ़ रही है along with the infrastructure demand, तो how do you perceive the biggest challenge in this particular area? कि मतलब since you work primarily on the cooling side, what is the biggest challenge that you perceive?
I think it's a very good question and a very fundamental one as well. There are 2-3 challenges I definitely am reading up about and I'm learning more about. सबसे पहला तो AC की penetration, for instance, right? Up till now we've been using this data point that 8 to 10% penetration has only happened of ACs in India. बिल्डिंग्स भी ज़्यादा कंस्ट्रक्ट नहीं हुई है. 70% बिल्डिंग अभी भी कंस्ट्रक्ट होएगी अगले 10 से 12 साल 15 साल में. तो कीपिंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन माइंड, राइट, देयर इज अ ह्यूज पोटेंशियल ऑफ AC पेनिट्रेशन इन इंडिया, राइट. 90% लोग अभी भी AC यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो कभी ना कभी यूज करेंगे उसमें से कुछ परसेंटेज, राइट. एंड AC इज अ एनर्जी इंटेंसिव and also contributes to a lot of other impacts, right? And that is something that a lot of our focus will go on in the coming years.
तो क्या लगता है तुम्हें, जैसे तुमने बताया कि 90% लोग यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं AC, what is the percentage that you see कि 2050 तक अभी जो 10% लोग कर रहे हैं, how much percentage this number will go up?
So interestingly, there is some data around this in India Cooling Action Plan. That is one of the flagship reports that India did, and globally nobody has done something like that. So it's really good that we took that step, because baselining and data is super important, right? If you can't measure, how will you solve for it?
Correct.
So by 2050, they see that cooling demand would be 45% of the peak demand in India, which is equivalent to energy required by a country. So आपको कंट्री जितना एनर्जी के लिए प्रोविजन बनाना पड़ेगा जस्ट फॉर कूलिंग. सो एंड दैट इज बिकॉज आपका हीट वेव बढ़ रहा है, आपकी हीट वेव डेज बढ़ रहे हैं. दैट इज अनदर मेट्रिक दैट पीपल आर गवर्नमेंट इज यूजिंग टू गेज कि दैट इज ट्रिपल्ड, दैट विल ट्रिपल बाय 2100. I know it's far off in the future. 2 other things that I'm seeing as a growing trend. One is, and which is a bit concerning, that our nights are also hotter. मुझे रातें भी अब गर्म होने लगी है. पहले क्या होता था कि दिन में गर्मी होती थी, रात को वो गर्मी सबसाइड कर जाती थी, तो आपको राहत मिलती थी. पहले गर्मी कम होती थी बिकॉज आपके ग्रीन स्पेसेस बहुत ज्यादा होते थे. पहले ग्रीन स्पेसेस थे, लेक्स थी, ठीक है, लेक्स यूज्ड टू अब्सॉर्ब हीट फॉर इन द सिटीज. बट अब वो सब भी, वी आर removing lakes, constructing buildings over it, cutting trees, right? These things impact the heat absorption of a
growing economy के part and parcel है.
Part and parcel तो है, लेकिन also I really think that there are definitely ways to look around it and incorporate that in the design itself. And I would assume that you also feel the same, right?
Yeah.
There are, and I've been to some developer sites where they're consciously making that decision that green space is an important part of their design. They will incorporate green spaces in their design, right? That is not like a non-compliance thing for them. That is mandatory in their approach. And it reduces something called urban heat island effect. जैसे हम लोगों के सबके AC के कंप्रेसर बाहर की साइड लगे होते हैं, पूरा दिन AC चलता है, तो अंदर तो कूलिंग होती है, बाहर की साइड
अंदर की गर्मी बाहर ले जाती
है.
तो फॉर एग्जांपल बिल्डिंग के अंदर जो मतलब कूलिंग की जो डिमांड है वो बिल्डिंग के अंदर से भी गवर्न हो रही है और बिल्डिंग के बाहर भी गवर्न हो रही है, इवन बिल्डिंग के डिजाइन से भी गवर्न हो रही है.
बिल्कुल,
एवरीथिंग डिटरमाइंस दीज थिंग्स. बट आई टोटली अंडरस्टैंड कि जो बाहर का जो वातावरण है, जो क्लाइमेट है, वो भी बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द हीट एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द डिज़ाइन कंपोनेंट कि हम लोग ग्रीन एरियाज सही तरीके से डिज़ाइन नहीं कर रहे हैं. वी डोंट हैव दैट सेंस कि हम कितना ओपन एरिया छोड़ भी रहे हैं तो हम उसको हार्ड पेव्ड सरफेस की तरह उसको बना दे रहे हैं ताकि मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट कम हो सके. देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स.
Correct.
So maybe I think some of such decisions they are governed by maybe I think the use of those spaces.
Correct.
And certainly मुझे लगता है कि जो लोग इस तरीके के एरिया में काम करते हैं एज ए डिज़ाइनर, एज ए कंट्रीब्यूटर, उनके लिए भी आई थिंक वो जो लेवल ऑफ अवेयरनेस है वो भी वो चैलेंज बनता जा रहा धीरे धीरे करके. सो मे बी आई थिंक अगर 3 पार्ट्स में देखें तो एक है कि बिल्डिंग के अंदर हम लोग कैसे कूलिंग को यूज़ कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि अगर हम लोग 100% जो घर का अंदर का एरिया है अगर हम सबको ठंडा करने में लगे रहेंगे तो फिर वो कूलिंग का डिमांड बढ़ेगी.
बिल्कुल.
दूसरा है कि बाहर से जो गर्मी अंदर आ रही है उसको हम लोग बिल्डिंग के डिज़ाइन से कैसे हम लोग इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहे हैं.
Correct.
अगर हम लोग सही मतलब डिज़ाइन करें तो हो सकता है कि जो डिमांड है वो कूलिंग की वो ऑप्टिमाइज हो सके. और घर के बाहर का जो एरिया है विच इज़ अ लैंडस्केप एरिया, रोड एरिया और इवन द फुटपाथ एरिया और द ट्री कवर ऑन ऑल दीज स्पेसिफिक इकोसिस्टम का जो हिस्सा है उसको हम कैसे डिज़ाइन करें.
बिल्कुल.
है ना. तो मतलब मेरा क्वेश्चन सिंपल सा है कि डू यू सी द पॉजिटिव मे बी पेनिट्रेशन और डू यू सी द डिग्रेडेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिज़ाइन एंड प्लानिंग ऑफ सच 3 specific core areas?
No, I think a very relevant question and a good segue to the technologies that are coming in this spaces, right? While ये issues है, these are all pervasive issues. एक और चैलेंज है ह्यूमिडिटी का जो कि बढ़ते जा रहा है. नॉर्दर्न प्लेन में आप देखेंगे तो रिसर्च इज शोइंग दैट ह्यूमिडिटी इज इंक्रीजिंग इन एरियाज लाइक पंजाब, हरियाणा, राजस्थान, दिल्ली, यूपी, जहाँ पे पहले ह्यूमिडिटी इतनी ज्यादा नहीं हुआ करती थी.
मतलब होती भी थी तो कुछ महीनों में होती थी.
Exactly.
जुलाई अगस्त में होती थी. बट
लेकिन ह्यूमिडिटी विद हीट इज अ डेडली कॉम्बो, किलिंग कॉम्बो. एग्जैक्टली, बिकॉज आपका बॉडी का रेगुलर जो नॉर्मल मैकेनिज्म है स्वेट करके अपने आप को कूल ऑफ करने का वो फिर
मिस हो रहा है
उसके अंदर. So people are focusing on many of these solutions. That is what I am seeing from the work that I'm doing, and it's very heartening to see also. बहुत difficult issues है to solve क्योंकि ACs are so pervasive in these areas, right? Chillers and ACs, they're established organizations working in these spaces. How do you make an impact which could be replicated easily and adopted at scale, at mass adoption, right? That is something that these organizations, these innovators are working on, right? There are areas like one definitely a business model that I would like to mention, like cooling as a service, right? That is increasing in implementation. So very basically, if I explain that, let's take an example of a hotel. ठीक है, अब होटल के पास 50 और काम होते हैं अपना होटल को संभालने में. उसमें से कूलिंग और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज देयर मेजर एक्सपेंस, एंड to manage all of that plus manage cooling का इक्विपमेंट. कूलिंग के इक्विपमेंट में कभी मेंटेनेंस का इशू हो जाता है, कभी कुछ खराब हो जाता है, कभी लोगों को समझ नहीं है, स्टाफ चेंज हो गया, यू डोंट नो हाउ.
ये जो है किसी और को ऑफसेट बोल दो, है ना.
कूलिंग एज अ सर्विस हेल्प्स यू outsource this to someone else altogether. So that service provider will take care of everything from equipment to the point where they are providing you the cooling, and you only pay for the cooling, like you pay for electricity. You pay, जैसे 5 रुपए की बिजली में पे कर रहा हूँ तो मैं 5 रुपए की कूलिंग के हिसाब से पे करूँगा. ठीक है. उसमें फिर these guys have what you can say, they bring out margins from savings, and then that is how they design their business model. So that is a very interesting concept. That is a concept that is being also implemented towards cold chain, for instance. अब cold chain में farmers को micro cold storage आप नहीं बेच सकते, because ना उसके पास पैसा है, ना ही उसके पास टाइम है समझने का ये टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है, राइट. और वो 10 से 12 लाख रुपए का एक 8 से 10 टनर का इन्वेस्टमेंट है. तो नो फार्मर विल डू इट, करेक्ट. बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर आप उसको बोलो कि आप एक क्रेट 20 रुपए में एक दिन के लिए रख सकते हो, उसके लिए वो समझना बहुत आसान है, उसके लिए वो करना भी बहुत आसान है. तो वो डेफिनेटली उसको यूज करेगा उस तरीके से. कूलिंग एज अ सर्विस इज डेफिनेटली एन इंटरेस्टिंग बिजनेस मॉडल टू लुक एट. Then we are seeing that is from inside the building part of it. We are also seeing solutions that are offsetting the use of cooling in the building. So for instance, thermal energy storage. बहुत बेसिक से एग्जांपल है बर्फ. ठीक है, मतलब उसका सबसे बेसिक एग्जांपल बर्फ है. आप पानी जमाते हैं, वो बर्फ धीरे धीरे अपना कूलिंग छोड़ती है और वो लंबे टाइम तक आपको कूलिंग का प्रोविजन देती है. ऐसे ही कुछ मटेरियल्स होते हैं, उसको फेस चेंज मटेरियल्स बोलते हैं, जो कि एक पर्टिकुलर टेम्परेचर पे आपको वो कूलिंग एक पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट ऑफ आवर्स के लिए दे सकते हैं. सो आप उस दैट इज मॉड्यूलर, आप उसको अपने हिसाब से डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. तो imagine a facility where 2 hours of electricity goes every day. You have to use DG to offset that electricity usage for cooling. You can easily implement something like this where you can use a 2-hour thermal energy storage which can release that heat. So आपका cooling का requirement reduce. Also for someone who wants to reduce cooling in the peak time, right? मुझको 7 से 9 में बिजली महंगी पड़ती है, तो मैं थर्मल एनर्जी स्टोरेज यूज कर लूँ. सो डेफिनेटली सॉल्यूशंस आर देयर एंड वी आर सीइंग मोर एंड मोर ऑफ देम. वी आर आल्सो सीइंग समथिंग ऑन पासिव डिजाइन टेक्नोलॉजीज. पासिव डिजाइन का बेसिकली मतलब ये है कि ये एक्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी है ऐसी कि आपको एनर्जी चाहिए इसको यूज करने के लिए, राइट. पासिव डिजाइन इज समथिंग which does not require any electricity or energy. It will work just because it is designed to work like that. So like you mentioned, envelopes, jalis, chhajjas, right? Orientation of the building. How do you orient the building to minimize the sun cover on that, right?
जो एक्टिव कूलिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट या तो अवॉइड करती है,
एग्जैक्टली
प्रिवेंट करती है, तो डिफर कर देती है.
एग्जैक्टली, हाँ जी. तो ये सारे एरियाज बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं अब. आई थिंक पीपल आर रीडिस्कवरिंग दैट मोर एंड मोर. अभी रिसेंटली मैंने किसी का पोस्ट पढ़ा था लिंक्डइन पे वेयर दे फिगर्ड दैट रूरल एरियाज के अंदर अभी भी लोग प्लास्टर करते हैं अपने घर को मड एंड उससे एंड मेक इट प्रॉपरली इंसुलेटेड. वी ऑलरेडी हैव दोज ideas. It's just about how do you scale them, right? How do you make it reach the right people in an affordable and equitable manner?
हाँ, वो चैलेंज असल में मुझे लगता है कि वहीं पे है. आइडियाज तो भरे पड़े हैं.
बिल्कुल.
इस रूम में 5 लोग हैं और मुझे लगता है 50 आइडियाज हो जाएंगे लोगों के पास.
बिल्कुल.
तो मतलब आइडियाज ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट मुझे लगता है, पर्सनली भी मुझे लगता है कि एग्जीक्यूशन इज मच मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. तो मतलब वी हैव बीन सीइंग सच टेक्नोलॉजी व्हिच यू हैव मेंशन्ड, बट वो स्केल नहीं कर पा रही हैं. यू हैव मेंशन्ड सास या कूलिंग एज अ सर्विस. हमें लगता है कि देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एग्जांपल्स, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ मे बी आई थिंक कपल ऑफ कंपनीज व्हिच विद हुम वी हैव आल्सो इंटरेक्टेड. बट हमें लगता है कि अगर वो इतना सब कुछ आसान है तो फिर वो स्केल क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. हाँ, तो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. सो मतलब अब कमिंग बैक टू मे बी द HCL क्लाइमेट फोर्स फंड के बारे में बात करते हैं कि मतलब हाउ because it has a certain objective in terms of building cooling and then the freight mobility. Let us talk about the cooling. So इस चीज को knowing कि ideas market में बहुत भरे पड़े हैं, है ना. तो on ground implementation और मे बी एग्जीक्यूशन या स्केल के बारे में जब लोग बात करते हैं, because I think the uniqueness with this model which I really appreciate कि एक corporate की तरफ से ये इनिशिएटिव है, which means also shows that private sector is equally sensitive, not only the government or the maybe I think philanthropy who have certain data, certain inferences, they understand कि हाँ यहाँ पे ऐसे होगा और इतनी कूलिंग डिमांड बढ़ेगी and all these things, है ना. लेकिन जब पब्लिक सेक्टर के बाद या बियॉन्ड जब प्राइवेट सेक्टर इस चीज़ को लेकर के आता है तो दैट इज़ द यूनिकनेस विच आई रियली अप्रिशिएट कि हम
Definitely.
बात कर रहे हैं कि अब पर्टिकुलरली अगर हम इस फंड की बात करें तो हाउ इज द विजन ऑफ दिस फंड इन टर्म्स ऑफ सॉल्विंग सच इशूज. These things should not be on paper,
Correct.
but on ground, right?
बिल्कुल. I think that is the idea that led to this program. Before that, I'll give a very short brief about India Climate Collaborative. So our organization was set up by leading business leaders, industry leaders in this space. And the idea was how do you move philanthropic capital towards climate action, right? And in that spirit, we've been talking to Ms. Roshan Nadar Malhotra of the HCL Group, and she came forward with a very interesting use case of a philanthropic capital, right? Which is catalytic in nature. So, how do you use a grant to ensure that innovation can scale, which is a bit rare to hear, but also not difficult to implement. ICC is helping in implementing and managing that program, and we came up, and during our discussions we shortlisted 3 key sectors. That was building, cooling, and freight mobility. And the reason behind that was they are very high growth sectors. Right now at an inflection point, 8% penetration of ACs, 70% buildings banni baki hai, trucks are the backbone of the freight industry, right? But also high emission from that perspective. So they combine contribute to 30% of emissions in India. So that is one reason. Second is there is some sort of policy around all 3 sectors, right? You have focus on cooling from the government side, you have focus on buildings, and you also have focus on the freight part of it, right? And third, there is innovation happening in all 3 sectors. But despite all this, there is no scale happening. The innovation are not scaling. And that is the major KPI of our program. How do you scale market ready solutions in this sector? And to do that, and of course, I'm just managing this program, but a lot of the thinking came from a lot of our team members who are senior in our team and leading these conversations as well. But the thought process behind it was we will hear from the ecosystem and then build our program. So we took almost an year to talk to multiple stakeholders. We talked to somewhere around 100 plus different kinds of stakeholders. That included innovators, that included organizations that are working in this space, sectoral experts, right? And then understood what is the need of the hour and what is it that innovator would require when it wants to scale, and incorporated that into our program. So what exactly do you require to scale, right? जब एक इनोवेटर अपना प्रोडक्ट टेस्ट कर चुका है, उसको नए कंज्यूमर्स यूजर्स चाहिए. यूजर्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करने में बहुत डिफिकल्टी होती है. दे डोंट हैव एक्सेस टू मल्टीपल ऑफ दीज यूजर्स, बट मे बी वी कैन ब्रिंग दैट ऑन द टेबल and do some matchmaking. So we will select innovators, we'll shortlist those innovators, and we'll also bring commercial users of these technologies on the table, and then we'll say talk to each other. Maybe a hospitality group requires a particular solution, a real estate development group requires a particular solution. The innovators will pitch to them directly. So that connection is a very good value add to them. Then second, once that solution is getting implemented, right, has gotten implemented, pilot हो गया, अब उस pilot का क्या result आया, ठीक है, बहुत लोग वो नहीं कर पाते, ठीक है, हम लोग कोशिश करेंगे that we do an independent monitoring and verification of that pilot, that gives them some certification or some understanding that this is what this pilot is able to achieve. इसने 8% एनर्जी रिडक्शन करा किसी कंपनी के लिए, या 10% एमिशन रिडक्शन करा, या फिर कॉस्ट रिडक्शन करा. वट एवर इज द मेट्रिक, वी विल डिसाइड दैट. We still have to decide all of those metrics, but essentially helping with that monitoring and verification. Third is, and the important part, we are bringing in the grant that they may require for that pilot implementation. But we are also capping that grant. We don't want it to be like 100% grant, because then seriousness goes away, because you take it as free money, right?
So innovator has also put in some money?
Yeah, so it is basically a service contract between an adopter and innovator, and we will say that we'll offset 30% of it. So अगर एक solution है जो 130 रुपए का है, और वो नॉर्मली 100 रुपए का सोल्यूशन यूज करता है अडॉप्टर, तो हम अडॉप्टर को बोलेंगे कि हम 30 रुपए हम प्रोवाइड कर देते हैं, यू यूज दिस सोल्यूशन.
तो 130 रुपए में से 30 रुपए क्लाइम फोर्स
अप टू 30 रुपीज
उससे आएगा, अप टू 30 रुपीज उससे आएगा, और फिर 100 रुपए जो है वो जो नॉर्मल कंज्यूमर है उसको लगाना पड़ेगा.
एग्जैक्टली. सो दैट इज हाउ वी हैव डिजाइन्ड दिस प्रोग्राम. वंस द पायलट इज सक्सेसफुली इम्प्लीमेंटेड, दैट इज वेयर द रियल वर्क नीड्स टू हैपन. सो नॉर्मली these programs are 1 or 2 years long, and then they go away. Then the innovator does not know what to do after that. The adopter cannot reach out to the people who made them do this.
इसमें सबसे बड़ा लॉस जो है वो सिर्फ कंज्यूमर का ही होता है.
Exactly. तो वो किसको पूछे? इनोवेटर को अगर कुछ हेल्प चाहिए तो वो किसके पास जाए? They all again fall into the same trap, right? So we are hoping that for the next, once the pilot is implemented, it will take 12 to 18 months. After that, the successful pilots, we can help them scale. And how do you do that? Essentially, the ecosystem around it needs to help that. So हमने कुछ ऐसे पार्टनर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस ढूंढे हैं, उनसे बात करी है जो ऑलरेडी इन स्पेसेस में काम कर रहे हैं. सम ऑफ देम लाइक AEEE, RMI, India Foundation, right? There are a few on the financing side of it, Climate X Capital. We are under discussions with some of the interesting accelerator groups, investment groups that can come in and help them provide that funding once they reach that scale, right? So we have figured a few industry partners, for instance, who can give them the platform to pitch it to the right industry folks once their solution is implemented. So that is our idea, that the ecosystem needs to enable the scale in the next 2 to 3 years of that pilot.
Nice.
So
तो पायलट करके हम स्केल की भी बात कर रहे हैं इसमें. दैट इज
exactly.
अब इसमें इनोवेशन का जो पार्ट है व्हिच इज कमिंग फ्रॉम इनोवेटर साइड, व्हाट इज इट अबाउट? इट इज अबाउट द एक्टिव कूलिंग, पैसिव कूलिंग, और बोथ? What is it about?
Great that you brought that up. It's about both. So when you look at cooling, we are looking at space cooling as a space, as an area of focus. Now, within that, we are looking at efficient cooling management systems. We are looking at passive design technologies, right? We are also looking at alternative cooling solutions, and also focusing on cold chain. So we're not losing out on cold chain, because that is also a very important part of the cooling ecosystem. So एक space cooling एक area है जहाँ पे हम focus कर रहे हैं, both on active and passive cooling. And then we are also focusing on cold chain, जिसके अंदर हम like I mentioned, cooling as a service. If we can implement, if there's some organization that wants to implement, and also temperature control logistics. So logistics is an important part. आपके fruits and vegetables logistics के time पे ही बहुत ज़्यादा deteriorate हो जाते हैं. तो how can you ensure that the temperature is maintained during that 100-200 kilometer range? So we're trying to tackle a lot of these areas, and interestingly enough, we have seen applications coming in on all these fronts. So that is very heartening to see. A tough job for us to select the right people, but good to see that so much innovation is already happening, right? Maybe some of them are not there yet, but they've started, and they will reach there someday, right? Maybe not our program, some other program will pick them up. Similarly, on the building side as well, because it's so closely linked to cooling, there are areas that we are focusing on cooling in the buildings area. So any material that provides that thermal comfort while also reducing emissions. So जैसे आपका कोई brick है जो waste से बना है, लेकिन also thermal comfort भी provide कर रहा है, thermal resistance है. So we would be happy to take that solution forward. So looking at a lot of these innovations,
technology side.
Yeah, exactly.
So मतलब दोनों साइड है, पैसिव एंड एक्टिव बोथ है.
बिल्कुल.
एक प्रणव, एक सिचुएशनल क्वेश्चन है. फॉर एग्जांपल आई अंडरस्टैंड कि जनरली पायलट टेक्नोलॉजी साइड होते हैं, देन द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द इकोसिस्टम इज टू स्केल देम अप, है ना. तो जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे ग्लोबल कूलिंग प्राइज एक एग्जांपल है, जिसमें RMI, रॉकी माउंटेन इंस्टीट्यूट एंड देन डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी, दोनों ने मिलकर के एक प्रोग्राम किया. And there were a lot of participation across the globe, almost like 98 countries से हज़ारों में technology participation हुआ. And then there were, I think, couple of technology winners. एक I think Gree Electric करके company थी, and then there is another one is Daikin, which is a well-known organization with certainly other partners as well along with them. अब उन्होंने एक टेक्नोलॉजी की, और उसका ग्लोबल पैरामीटर, मैं आई थिंक द मेन पैरामीटर जो एम्बिट क्रिएट किया गया था ये था कि अगर क्लाइमेट इम्पैक्ट उसका 5 गुना हो एंड कूलिंग जो कॉस्ट है इनोवेशन की या जो टेक्नोलॉजी की वो मेरी 2 गुना से कम हो एटलीस्ट. दैट इज द मेजर क्राइटेरिया. अब 2 टेक्नोलॉजी निकल के आई कि हाँ, मतलब उन्होंने वो चीज़ स्टैब्लिश कर ली. टेक्नोलॉजी निकल के आई, आई एम श्योर देयर आर चैलेंजेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ, चाहे वो इनर्शिया हो विद द एग्जिस्टिंग सिस्टम के, या जो इकोसिस्टम में कुछ इश्यूज हो, बट व्हाई नॉट स्केलिंग इट अप?
True. I think that's a very relevant question, and sometimes, and I'll tell you from the conversations I've been having with a lot of these folks, sometimes the technology is great, perfect. आपने भी बहुत ऐसे टेक्नोलॉजीज देखी होगी, मतलब सुन के आपको लगेगा कि why are we not doing this everywhere, but वो इम्प्लीमेंट ही नहीं कर रहे हैं. लाइक अब एग्जांपल दूं मैं आपको एक बहुत छोटा सा. there's a company that thought their solution would do best in residential users. Okay, their cooling technology would work best in the residential consumers. That was their thesis. Okay, उन्होंने अपना बिजनेस मॉडल बनाया उसके अराउंड. आप जब तक इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करोगे ग्राउंड पे, तब तक ना उसकी लिमिटेशन पता चलेगी ना उसकी वैल्यू पता चलेगी. बहुत सिचुएशंस हैपन, राइट. आपने वो बिजनेस मॉडल उसके अराउंड बनाया, बट जब आपने इम्प्लीमेंट करा आपको पता चला कि रेजिडेंशियल कंज्यूमर्स आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन दिस टेक्नोलॉजी. ओके, you need to pivot as a innovator. You need to understand that you have to pivot in order to scale your technology. Maybe 5 years down the line, when the time is right, residential consumers will come in. Correct? They pivoted immediately, and they thought they saw applications on the commercial side of it, and now they are doing great with their product and their solution in the commercial side of these of the solution. This is a good example of what happens on the ground. The technology is great. It was a great technology for them as well, but उनका product market fit नहीं था. ठीक है. अब another area, another hindrance and an enabler, both could be policy. As simple as policy. There is simply no policy around it. कोई इंसेंटिव ही नहीं है कि वो टेक्नोलॉजी आगे बढ़े in comparison with the alternatives that are there. Okay, अब let's take an example of electric buses. The moment government came in, created a scheme around it, said कि हम procure करेंगे, said कि हम subsidy देंगे. You're seeing electric buses on the ground, right? And once they will pass that bridge, they will become mainstream. Okay, scheme came, policy came, Similar thing, if something could happen around green cement. Green cement सब कह रहे हैं कि बना सकते हैं, लेकिन scale नहीं कर रहा. क्यों? क्योंकि policy is not enabling them to scale. If some green procurement guidelines come in today from the government कि हम अपना PM आवास योजना का प्रोग्राम चलाते हैं, उधर हम ग्रीन सीमेंट ही प्रोक्योर करेंगे, या फिर 10% ऑफ द प्रोक्योरमेंट वुड बी ग्रीन, राइट? ऑटोमेटिकली मार्केट बन गया, ऑटोमेटिकली डिमांड सेट हो गई, एंड द प्लेयर्स विल आल्सो देन टेक इट अ बिट सीरियसली एंड स्टार्ट देयर ग्रीन सीमेंट लाइन इन देयर इंडस्ट्रीज, राइट? राइट नाउ दे डोंट हैव द इंसेंटिव टू स्टार्ट इट बिकॉज उनका अभी जो करंट प्रोडक्ट है दैट इज सेलिंग much better and easily in the market, right? So sometimes you have to have these supply side regulations to ensure that your demand and scale picks up. Another enabler is capital. Capital is something, and I think to understand where the capital can play a role, we also need to understand where the technology is in their maturity curve. Correct? There's something called technology readiness levels. वो नासा ने शुरू किया था 1970s में अपने स्पेस मिशंस को के टेक्नोलॉजीज को गेज करने के लिए. It became a norm in the industry, and now startups also use it to define where the technology is in their maturity curve. Is it an idea?
Yeah.
Is it a prototype? Is it a commercial technology? So if you are at TRL 6, for instance, which is more of a prototype kind of an area, for you scale is कि मैं एक पायलट से 10 पायलट कर लूँ, ठीक है? वो करने के लिए मुझको डेट की जरूरत नहीं है आइडियली, ठीक है? मुझे लोन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज मैं अभी ग्रांट अगर मुझको मिल जाएगा, that would be much helpful for me, right? Maybe some equity. TRL 9 पे अगर आप, that means that your product is commercial, and you are looking for scale in the manner where you want more businesses to pick up your product. You want more markets, new geographies to venture into. Maybe आपको इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर खड़ा करने के लिए डेट चाहिए फिर, ठीक है? आपको equity चाहिए लोगों से कि आप ग्रो कर सको. Maybe some grant as well in that case. You never know. But this is a concept that is growing in the ecosystem, which is called capital stacking. कि आप अपने maturity curve के हिसाब से अपना capital को stack करो कि at a particular point maybe it's 100% grant, then 90-10, 90 grant, 10 equity, then 50-40, 10, something like that, right? But that awareness in the innovator needs to be there, that scaling strategy essentially should be clear in their minds, that 10 years down the line I need to be here, for this I need to do this every year. Correct? Maybe that kind of awareness and that kind of thinking capacity or opportunities are not there for these folks. So technology is very important, no doubt about it. It makes or breaks your case. लेकिन उसके अराउंड इतनी सारी चीजें हैं, फिर डिमांड है कि नहीं उस टेक्नोलॉजी की. अगर आपका आज की तारीख में नॉर्मल पंखे अगर चल रहे होते तो नॉर्मल पंखे चल रहे हैं, लेकिन जैसे BLDC फैंस है, वी क्रिएटेड अ मार्केट अराउंड इट, एंड पीपल आर नाउ स्लोली टेकिंग दैट अप बिकॉज somehow it helps you reduce savings in energy.
कंज्यूमर डिमांड हमेशा ही मतलब एक वायबिलिटी थ्रू की चलती है.
Exactly.
अगर उसको वैल्यू फॉर मनी किसी भी प्रोडक्ट में आ जाती है तो वो खरीदेगा, उसको कोई डाउट नहीं है इस चीज को लेकर के ना. पीपल डू दैट ट्रांजिशन देमसेल्व्स. उसको किसी भी तरीके के इंसेंटिव की भी जरूरत नहीं है. फॉर एग्जांपल वी आर सीइंग इट इन द फैन आल्सो, है ना? सो पर्टिकुलरली, बट आई थिंक आई अंडरस्टैंड योर पर्सपेक्टिव इन टर्म्स ऑफ कि वो चैलेंजेस होंगे, इंसेंटिव्स का प्रोविजन हो सकता है, या मैन्युफैक्चर लेवल पे पिवोट किस लेवल पे लाना है, वो सब चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं. देयर आर सो मेनी अदर इकोसिस्टम बेस्ड चैलेंजेस हो सकते हैं. You also mentioned demand and supply. I think that is a great phrase which maybe I think which people generally use for any such maybe success and failure. Green public procurement for cement and steel, I think they are again lot of maybe I think reasons behind this.
Of course, it's not binary.
Yeah, it's not binary.
It's a very gray area.
Yeah, and the government is doing
Exactly,
I think it's great bit on this particular subject. I think we can always discuss separately on this part. Maybe I think one more topic that I want to touch, because you mentioned the consumer awareness, और मुझे भी लगता है कि कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी मतलब adoption तभी scale होगा when the consumer start demanding it.
Definitely.
है ना? तो और जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से कूलिंग यूसेज के बारे में बात करते हैं, है ना, बिकॉज कूलिंग डिमांड जो है यूसेज से भी बहुत इम्पैक्ट होती है उससे. तो जैसे हम लोग कूलिंग इक्विपमेंट की बात करें, जैसे एसी हो गया, और एसी में कंज्यूमर लेवल पे टेम्परेचर सेटिंग इन सब चीज़ों की बात होगी, बट वी डोंट गिव द स्पेसिफिक इंफॉर्मेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट इज द कंजप्शन.
Exactly.
है ना, and maybe I think sometimes when we look at the distribution companies activity in terms of their peak load management, we also need to look at maybe demand response, how should they respond to the peak load consumption, all these things. तो air conditioning maybe manufacturing side में ये सब basic चीज़ें क्यों नहीं include कर लेते हैं? जैसे अगर डिस्प्ले एक हो जाए कि consumption कितना हो चुका है ना, या टोटल लेट्स से अब डे टू डे बेसिस पे एक आ जाए कि हाँ एक दिन में इतना कंजप्शन हो चुका है, ये वो डिस्प्ले आ जाए, सो दैट द कंज्यूमर कैन मेक द डिसीजन कि हाँ मुझे आग को बढ़ाना है कि नहीं बढ़ाना है, या 25 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे चलाना है रेदर देन 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस पे चलाना है. तो लोगों को अवेयर करने का जो प्रोविजन है उस तरह के बारे में कोई क्यों नहीं सोचता है? मतलब व्हाई इट इज सच अ, मुझे लगता है कि दिस इज सच अ बेसिक थिंग. और मुझे लगता है कि जब मैं सोचता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि मतलब लॉट ऑफ पीपल in this area they are better off in terms of maybe understanding these things. Demand response का प्रोग्राम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनीज की तरफ से है, बट मे बी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री से गवर्नमेंट के साथ साथ ये जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं दे शुड ऑल्सो हैव दैट डायलॉग एंड द डिस्कशंस, और उसके बारे में बताएं कि अगर ये ऐसा करेंगे तो कितना बेनिफिट हो सकता है.
बिल्कुल.
कि हाँ ये सब डिस्कशंस जो है ऑलरेडी हो रहे हैं या अभी नहीं हुए हैं?
आई थिंक इट्स एन ऑनगोइंग डिस्कशन. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अवेयरनेस इज डेफिनेटली सुपर इम्पोर्टेंट, एंड द मोमेंट यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग द यूजर अवेयर दे विल डिमांड द राइट थिंग्स लाइक यू मेंशन्ड, है ना. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज आज की तारीख में आप और मैं आर a bit more aware in this topic, but someone who's not bought an AC for in his life, right, in their life, they go and buy an AC. What happens? आप किसी स्टोर में जाते हैं, उधर सेल्स मीट करने का प्रेशर होता है, किसी उसको पर्टिकुलर एसी ब्रांड पे ज़्यादा कमीशन मिलता है in comparison to someone who's manufacturing a 5-star AC.
Yeah, totally agree.
But is not giving them the commission that they deserve, right? Or that they should not deserve. But these are the kind of challenges that are very difficult to solve for, right? And this needs to come from the manufacturers, that they promote maybe a bit more commissions on energy efficient devices. I would also from a consumer perspective, money is important. मैं भी आज की तारीख में अगर कुछ भी देखूंगा तो अगर मुझको कुछ चीज में मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट हो रहा होगा तो आई विल गो टुवर्ड्स दैट. आई मे नॉट थिंक सो मच कि मेरा हर महीने का बचत कितना हो रहा है.
नहीं, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट.
अगर while that is being sold to me, अगर मुझको कोई समझाए कि अभी तो आप इसमें कम 2,000 रुपए कम दे रहे हो, लेकिन पूरे साल का अगर आप बिजली का खपत इसका देखोगे तो आपको हर साल 2,000 रुपए देने पड़ेंगे इसके. बल्कि इसके केस में आप अभी 2,000 ऊपर दोगे लेकिन हर साल 2,000 बचाओगे. ये कॉन्वर्सेशंस अगर यूजर्स को बताने लग जाए, एंड दैट इज हैपनिंग इन ईवीज फॉर इंस्टेंस, राइट, दैट इज द सेलिंग स्ट्रेटजी फॉर ईवीज, दैट केपेक्स इज हाई, कैपिटल कॉस्ट इज, इनिशियल इन्वेस्टमेंट इज हाई, बट योर ऑपरेशनल कॉस्ट इज लो. If this is translated,
ईवी के केस में प्रणव तुम देखो कि चीजें बहुत विजिबल हैं.
exactly,
वो लेट्स से 5 घंटे चार्ज करता है और उसके केसेस में पता चलता है कि हाँ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का रेट ये है,
बिल्कुल,
इतने यूनिट कंज्यूम हो रहा है और इतने किलोमीटर वो चला सकता है, लेट से 150 किलोमीटर चला सकता है, तो उसको कैलकुलेट करना आता है। इसी केस में पता ही नहीं, मैं बोल दूं कि हाँ एक साल जो है में 2,000 रुपए वापस आ जाएंगे, उसको कुछ क्लियर नहीं है।
Exactly. That is a point that I wanted to come next. There are innovators that are working on this area who are putting in sensors in unitary products, which helps you decide that how much electricity you consumed in a day. They show it on through an app. Just such a simple thing to do, right? And I think that is the direction a lot of manufacturers will also take and should take, where real-time information is being transmitted to the user so that they can make informed decisions. A lot of these apps show you predictive kind of analysis कि अगर आप 16 पे चलाएंगे अपने एसी को तो आप इतने रुपए एक्स्ट्रा खर्च करेंगे rather than अगर आप 20 पे चलाते हैं या 24 पे चलाते हैं।
होना चाहिए, और मुझे लगता है कि वो मतलब कहीं ना कहीं वो अप्लायंस के साथ ही कनेक्टेड हो जाए।
Exactly.
बिकॉज मुझे लगता है कि एक अनदर टूल भी जरूरत नहीं है।
बिल्कुल
लोगों की जिंदगी ऑलरेडी बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स है।
And I think that is where the manufacturing industry in these spaces are growing and moving towards. As it is, AI and ML are buzzwords right now and very easy to integrate once you put in a sensor.
बिल्कुल करना चाहिए।
And
बिल्कुल मुझे भी लगता है कि ये सब चीजें, अवेयरनेस एक कंपोनेंट ऐसा है जिसमें कि अगर सिंप्लीफाई करके, नॉट दैट द वर्कशॉप ऑर्गेनाइजिंग दीज थिंग्स, बट मे बी आई थिंक एनीथिंग व्हिच कैन मेक maybe people aware with the simplified numbers के बेसिस पे वो खुद ही कैलकुलेट करके अगर वो डिसीजन ले ले, nothing like it. But most of the cases, Pranav, when we talk about cooling, we talk about space cooling only, but we don't talk about maybe cold chain or the food logistic. Although this is also one of the areas I think under your organization. तो क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि फूड कंजप्शन भी इंडिया में बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रहा है। फूड की क्वालिटी के बारे में बात होने लगी है। वी स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट कि हम किस किस इंग्रेडिएंट की बात कर रहे हैं। सर्टेनली इट इज अ केस। देखा जाए तो अगर आप पिछले 70-75 सालों में जो फूड हैबिट्स देखें, मतलब न्यूट्रिशियस बेस्ड फूड हैबिट्स has not been there.
Exactly.
तो अब हम लोग पता कर रहे हैं कि मतलब पनीर और उसके फेक पनीर और ये न्यूट्रिशंस, वो न्यूट्रिशंस, बट मुझे लगता है कि बहुत सारा वेस्ट जो है वो हो रहा है just because the cold chain is not maybe I think focused enough in terms of incorporating the cooling component.
Correct. And this is an area very close to my heart. I've worked in this space for close to a year, and specifically on micro cold storages, and really think that is a great solution, but models need to be right. जैसे मैंने mention किया, and I'll give you some data points around it as well. 40% of our fruits and vegetables get perished once they come out of the farm and reaches the end user. Between that supply chain, 40% of the fruits and vegetables go bad, which is a huge number. It's somewhere around 95,000 crores annually that you are wasting just because there is no efficient cold chain throughout the process. जो cold chain है भी वो is designed in a manner where potatoes, onions and tomatoes are the produce that are stored in them. What happens to the rest of it, right? And who owns that cold storage, right? How accessible is it to a small scale farmer? 80 to 90% of our farmers are small scale farmers. They don't have means to buy a cold storage, a micro cold storage, right? 10 से 12 लाख का maybe रिड्यूस हो गया वो प्राइस पिछले 2-4 सालों के अंदर, लेकिन ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 8-10 लाख का एक यूनिट आता है 10 मेट्रिक टन का, राइट? अब and there are great innovations happening in that area because some are using biomass to create that cooling impact in that cold storage, micro cold storage. Some are using solar, so it is purely renewable energy based. Again, great technology, but how do you scale this, right? Problem that comes is a farmer is not able to afford it. So models like cooling as a service, like I mentioned, are really picking up in these areas. Or you find an anchor point which can own that product. So an FPO, a farmer producer organization, who has a lot of these farmers as a part of their organization, right? They own that product, right? There is a lot of credit guarantee that is being given to them. First loss default guarantee is being given to them, so that even if they default in their payments, somebody can come in and take care of that.
Insurance.
kind of, yeah, exactly. तो models are evolving. ऐसा नहीं models नहीं evolve कर रहे हैं as per the needs from the ground. But this is a very important area from a food resiliency perspective of India. Unless and until हर checkpoint पे हमारे पास cold storage की provisions नहीं होंगे, and different kinds of cold storage would be required. So near the farm, micro cold storage. At the pack house, maybe a larger cold storage. Then when you're transferring from a pack house to a distribution center, correct, nearer to the city, maybe that is 100-200 kilometer का range.
Reefer vans.
Reefer vans use करिए अब. Reefer के अंदर भी अब क्या हो रहा है कि most of the reefers run from DG, diesel. So उसके अंदर technologies आ रही है कि आप जैसे मैंने फेस चेंज मटेरियल्स बताया था, तो वो प्लेट्स आती है, तो प्लेट्स लग जाए अंदर, एंड देन people use it going ahead, right? Some are also integrating solar on top of that, so that it can run from solar, electricity and phase change material and batteries, and does not rely on diesel generator. क्योंकि अगर आपकी गाड़ी चल भी नहीं रही है, तब भी आपको इंजन ऑन करके रखना पड़ता है, बिकॉज रीफर को ठंडा करना है. So technologies need to develop in all these areas to ensure that the cold chain remains intact, and we are hoping that a few of these solutions we are able to implement. We are in touch with a few innovators as well as users of these technologies who are working in the logistics space on a daily basis, and they are super excited to see if we can implement something that is helping them with the cooling that they require, but also reduces their emissions in the process.
How much hopeful you are for the scaling up these things? Because ये सब चीजें available हैं सब market में, and then technology providers available, these maybe problem statements are available.
Correct.
People understand the solution also, but scale up इतनी तेजी से क्यों नहीं हो पा रहा है? My point is, let's say we are sitting in 2025. And we are also expecting and hopeful कि 2047 तक the country will become the developed country. So मतलब वो अपने आप एकदम से तो नहीं होगा.
बिल्कुल.
So मतलब do you really feel that the pace with which we are growing, which will help us in terms of meeting our goal, which is the developed country's goal?
I think I'm definitely a bit on the positive side of it. I feel that rapidness is there. The country is growing rapidly in this space. I'll give you a very funny incident. When I started my master's in 2015, that is the time the new government came in and said that we'll do 100 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2022. At that time, India was not even, I think, between 0 to 5 gigawatts. Installed capacity. The professor who was teaching us a course on global renewable energy practices, apparently mentioned that in one of his lectures, and a lot of people laughed also, because at that point it felt outrageous to do 100 gigawatts in 7 years, right? But we did achieve that. We're closer to achieving our targets that are set for 2030, 2032. So focus is definitely there. A lot more has happened in the past 10 years than anything that happened before that, because of multiple reasons. Economics have gone better. People are focusing more and more. The our environment around us is making us think in that direction. हमको इतने heat waves देखने को मिल रहे हैं, different kinds of things are happening. So and to respond to that, the government, public sector, private sector, and not-for-profit sector, all of these are working in their own capacities to help ensure that important technologies scale. So it's not only our program that is focusing on this area, right? When I was doing secondary research for understanding what all is happening in this space, I came up with at least 15 to 20 programs that are running, working on different aspects of scale for these technologies, in cooling, in building, in built environment, in freight mobility, in mobility, right? So hope is there, and I would want to I want this to happen sooner than later. And I think the generation right now, which is experiencing this firsthand, is also super excited to move in that direction. So that sense of doom is always there. वो एक दिमाग में रहता तो है कि what will happen 10 years down the line, when you see such crazy weathers unfolding in front of your eyes. वो एक डर तो लगता है, लेकिन at the same time, I think a lot of people are focusing in these areas, and hopefully that scale will pick up sooner than later.
Very nice.
Window is reducing.
Yeah.
You've seen that with solar, and you'll see that with I hope with other
We have
technologies.
seen in case of LED also.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think there's a great hope, and people will adopt the better technologies
Definitely.
in the maybe I think nick of time. That is
Exactly.
also the
Seeing
expectation.
that with battery technology as well,
Yeah.
it's just reducing drastically year on year. So we were not able to afford batteries like proper gigawatt level battery systems back in 2014-15. But right now
it is
we
possible,
are
yeah.
opening up 500 megawatt hours, 1000 megawatt hours battery energy storage systems in Rajasthan, for instance. Delhi में अभी
लगा हुआ है.
launch हुआ है, लगा है. So that has only been possible because technology is moving faster than before. Prices are falling in conjunction, and at a rate where it is becoming affordable and also logical to use these technologies over what we currently are using, right? It just makes economic sense to go for these technologies, and I'm hoping the same will happen with cooling and buildings sector as well. We have good set of compliances, regulations, codes that are coming up, and hopefully sustainability is integrated, as you mentioned, in the new ECBC code. So given that is such a central part of the entire thinking process, so you see how it is embedded into our thinking process. That is a very good and positive step, according to me.
Absolutely correct. I think you have a great career ahead, Pranav, and think so. Maybe I think the last piece of advice that maybe I think I would maybe I think wish you to our audience. Maybe I think you may advise how maybe I think how to build not only the career but maybe I think a meaningful life journey in terms of working and contributing to these specific areas. Maybe what do you advise to them?
I am myself in this journey right now. So, but from the limited or from the experience I've had up till now, I would say that it's a great area to be in. A lot of people, and the best part about it is it has the ability for you to diversify as per your interest, as per your evolving interest in the space. So take my example, I started off from chemical engineering, went to bioenergy, went to waste to energy, then distributed renewables, then energy access, and then now I'm exploring financing and implementation and innovation in these spaces, right? All within a span of 10 years.
Yeah.
So this definitely is an area where if you think ahead and can plan it accordingly, it will give you those opportunities to diversify your skill sets. Second, I think this is an area where both technical and non-technical folks can excel in their own ways, and we were discussing this earlier. Up till I was in consulting, I was looking at more technicalities around a particular solution or a particular project, looking at it how technically or economically you can solve a particular problem statement. But since I've joined this organization, I'm also realizing more and more how important communications are. And for instance, this podcast is a great way to implement that,
make that information available to the masses.
Exactly. So communication is very important. There are folks who may not have that strong of a technical background, but they do extremely well in explaining to people what we are trying to do. मैं उतना अच्छे से शायद ना explain कर पाऊँ, लेकिन उनको, even though they don't have that background, they will do a much better job in connecting with the mass. And that is another area where people can
excel.
Can join in. So this space is bubbling right now with energy, and there are multiple places where you can support. So you can think of doing policy work, you can think of doing research, you can think of doing consulting, you can stay back and do comms. You can essentially pick up a space,
any specific work, and there's a lot of opportunity.
Convert it towards climate, right? You can simply innovate. There's a lot of innovation happening specifically in climate. Accelerator groups, incubator groups have a particular vertical on climate innovation. So it's not a small area anymore. It is definitely a central piece of our journey ahead. So I would suggest that even though you've done something that may not directly relate to climate, there are definitely avenues where you can integrate it with climate going ahead. So my wife, for instance, is in finance, but she is constantly reading up about how finance can
link with the climate.
Exactly, climate issue. So, and writing something about it. So people are finding their ways to become a part of this area, and that is very heartening and interesting.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Pranav, for sharing your experiences. I think
thank you so much.
I'm really happy to see your energy level and the kind of knowledge that you have accumulated in last 10 years. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience listening और last तक इस podcast को देखने के लिए. If you have any specific maybe comments or queries, I think you can always write us back. हमारे specific contact information, and I'll also request my team to put in the contact information of Pranav, my guest, also. तो क्या आपको अगर उनसे specific कोई question है, queries हैं, you can always write to him as well. And thank you so much for your patience listening. Please like, share, subscribe this podcast, and make sure कि आप at least इस podcast के इस episode को आप अपने at least one person के साथ जरूर share करें. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Pranav.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.